Chapter 57. The Righteous Disappear. The first verse of chapter 57 makes something clear that has only been alluded to before. The righteous will disappear. But only in the Hebrew and a few other translations is this clear. The King James Version says, "The righteous perisheth," seeming to say that they'll die. But the Hebrew adds the connotation of escaping or even disappearing. Context helps us know which translation is most correct, because the next verse tells us that these same people will be able to rest in their beds. It doesn't say that they'll rest in their graves or rest in heaven. No, it indicates that these righteous people will escape to safety and will not only rest in their beds at night, but will be able to walk uprightly during the day. When the righteous leave, we find that no man layeth it to heart. This means that the neighbors will simply ignore the fact that some of their better friends are leaving town. It'll be such a small movement that many people won't even notice it. And where are these righteous people going? To places of safety reserved for them. These are the people who hearken to the voice of the servant. These are the people who obey the decree of God to come out of Babylon, that ye be not partakers of her sins. These are the people who will be led by the Lord and his prophet, but they will not go out with haste or by flight. And as they obey, they'll be led to places where they will hide, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast. These are the people who will see many of Isaiah's prophecies fulfilled. They'll see pure water springing forth from dry ground. They'll see the desert blossoming like the rose, and they'll see entire wastelands becoming like Eden. After a time, these same people will be among the first to be led to Zion itself. And what of those who stay behind? Isaiah says they will remain among the sorceress and the seed of the adulterer. He says they'll be left among the children of transgression who inflame themselves with lust. Anciently, even some covenant people participated in pagan fertility rituals that resulted in the births of unwanted children. Some of these babies were then sacrificed to the gods of Baal or Moloch, and their charred bodies were then tossed from the cliffs south of Jerusalem into the valley of Hinnom. And there, their desiccated bones lay for years among the smooth stones of the stream. It was a gruesome practice, which in some ways is approximated by today's abortion practices. Isaiah prophesies that the end of these people will be among the same slippery stones. He likens them to a harlot who makes her bed behind closed doors on a mountain, where she exposes herself in sin. After she does this with the king, she will send her agents out to procure more business and will ultimately debase herself even unto hell. Although she wearies of this, she doesn't stop, because she's found a rich livelihood. So she gamely carries on, pursuing a satisfaction that never satisfies, serving a raging God that, in the end, only destroys. In our own homes, in our own modern lives, some of us also worship at the altars of pleasure. Some surrender to the temptations of lust, pornography, and even fornication and adultery. Where anciently these things were done openly in pagan rituals, today they are often done in secret, in private, in partnership with the god of lust. And let us remember that Isaiah is prophesying here. He's speaking of the last days, and he uses these ancient wrongs as types of modern sins that will bring destruction upon the people when the righteous are led away. However, the Lord in his mercy says he will not contend forever or always be wroth with us. If he did always contend with us, we would fall before him, for we could not endure his punishment for long. However, the Lord does express his anger at his sons for their wickedness, and he gets personal, even singling out his servant who personifies Israel. God was wroth at this man for his covetousness and froward ways, meaning his early tendency to follow his own heart rather than the will of God. But as we've already seen, God will heal him. Likewise, he'll heal all who sincerely repent, and will even restore comforts unto them. Although the wicked are like the troubled sea that cannot rest, the righteous who repent will be led out of Babylon at the appointed time. They will even be led by a prophet of God who himself needed to repent, but who has since proven himself faithful in all things. There is not peace, saith God, to the wicked, but there will be great peace, and even rejoicing among the righteous who follow his voice when he leads them out on their long journey to Zion. All this and more is explained in the book, The Words of Isaiah. I'm Curtis Taylor with The Words of Isaiah.